Does anyone ever feel like the present isn't good enough for them? Like they're always thinking about the future. When can I get off of work? Or when is this show coming? Or what's next? Never content with your present situation. Maybe I'm alone in this um, paradigm, but it I've always felt like this. Like I'm always, you know, not really appreciating reality, not really appreciating the present moment. I mean, for me, it's largely been mostly suffering. So that's probably why I don't really appreciate each moment, the current situation. I just got done fasting like couple weeks ago, and I broke my record um, of 96 hours fasted. I did 105 hours, and I kept on like, can't wait for this to be over. I can't wait for this to be over. Instead of like sitting back and just, I don't know, it's just kind of like trying to get forward to something. But then when I got to the end, it's like, what am I like wanting to get forward to? Like, where are we going to? That's just, maybe I'm alone in this feeling. Um, I put the thumbnail as one of it's my book. It has two reviews. It's free if you have the Kindle Unlimited, so you can read it for free. But aside for that, it's 99 cents. I had to um, monetize it. They wouldn't let me, so I just did the cheapest I possibly could. Um, I think it's not too bad, especially the fact because I was reading a little bit today of it, and I was seeing some mistakes I've made, which is like people will hate on me for my mistakes, but I guarantee if I wrote another book, it would be better than that book. Grammatically be better. So I published my book, I wrote my book, and I edited my book. I proofread my book. I went through all of it. Like usually people like who write books have other people, correct their mistakes or whatever, but I did it all myself. And then in this time I could probably just use AI, like just take a chapter out and just like put it into AI and be like fix the grammar, and it just does it automatically. But like I don't know, there's something like genuine about that. There's something like unique. I'm actually really proud that like that book. Like I talk about like a multitude of different topics. It's like my YouTube videos. Like I went over like female energy, society, like America first, like why everything, just talking about like politics. I'm talking about video games. I talk about like a bunch of different things in that book. Cause I made it in 2021. Um, it's just like the internet you just get so much hate if you go against like the narrative. Like that's all I really get. Like I don't really get positive. I just get hate. it's, and I'm kind of like used to it, but it's just like damn, man, people really hate me or something. Or maybe it's just AI bots or something that write comments that, you know. I think that like from somebody who has learning disabilities and has never went to college, that doesn't like to read. I think that like I pretty solid for what I've contributed to the universe, The Matrix, I think, is pretty solid. Um, like I'm actually pretty proud of like getting even 13,000 followers on X and 1,500 followers on here. Like, I know that's not like a big deal, but like it's like I'm considered like a micro uh, influencer or whatever. But it's still like I did it all myself. It's like I've done all the stuff I put on the internet. It's all just me. I haven't had any help. I haven't had, and the thing is, like when people see, you really have to get in the right. You have to be at the right place in the right time to get noticed. For somebody to be like, okay, like this person starts getting a bunch of followers or whatever, like you get viral. Like you really, if you're a nobody, you got to be really lucky, or money pushes it. Um, because like it's really hard to get into the algorithm, and I've pretty much accepted that. Um, I guess I haven't really been motivated to make videos. There's this guy I've been listening to, Raymond, My Thoughts, and he's got like 10,000 followers. He's been getting a lot of followers very rapidly over the last couple of months, which is great. And his channel's a lot like mine. I like relate to that guy a lot. But it's kind of made me want to make more videos. I think that I have a different perspective than a lot of stuff. My stuff is just more real. Like I don't edit anything. It's just like I just use my phone. I don't have any fancy audio or video. It's just, I just hit play and then that's it. That's what I keep on hearing. Like these big YouTubers are like, oh, just hit play. Like just hit play. Like, yeah, I've hit play a lot of times and it really hasn't done much, but like I'm still proud of what I've accomplished just on my own. But it like, I'm like bouncing around back and forth from nihilism to hopefulness. It's like a back and forth, like ping pong for me. And like okay, so I don't have a job right now. So people is, oh, you're a loser, you don't have a job. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure it out. Like I'm surviving right now. Um, I'm not getting unemployment. I'm not getting any help from the government at all. I'm not going to food banks. And like I have a roof over my head. I have a vehicle. My bills are paid. And it's kind of like I'm like when I first lost my job, I went through like it was crazy to hear Raymond talking about like almost like a trauma. Like I almost felt like when like I sound like AOC, but this is how I sound anyway. when me and my ex fiance were breaking up, and I just feel like everything's falling apart in my life. That's how I felt, because the job, I hated it, but it felt like it provided me comfort. And what scares me is like, oh, there's no jobs out here. It's gonna get hard. I'm not gonna make as much as I did, so now I'm gonna have to like work a full-time job plus a part-time job and it's just kind of like at this point in my life, since I don't have a wife, my kids are raised, I just have to worry about myself. I'm kind of like I've been going through the motions. It's just like going through the motions. Not really caring too much about the future. Not really having any goals, anything to strive for. Like I don't a nice car, like I don't care. I just need a car. I just need a transportation to get me back and forth um, cheaply. Uh, I prefer like if we had like robot taxis, robo taxis, a Tesla robot. I can't wait till those come out, and it's just like cheap. There's so many of them on the road. It's so cheap to be mobile. It makes me like I'm seeing like the jobs where we're at. Like they need to like change the way they approach things. They need to be like instead of giving us like an hourly rate, maybe you should take into the fact of like paying for our transportation too. I think that'd help out a lot. Help out a lot of people. I hate having to worry about transportation. Transportation is such a huge financial burden to me. Having a car, I wish I didn't have to have a car. And I know people, oh, well, you're not independent. Well, you know what, dude? Like, if an EMP did go off, like hypothetically, like these people, these doomers, like the society is gonna end. Like they sit here and oh, the EMP. Like if an EMP went off, my car wouldn't even work anyway. So it's like I'm walking out to the wilderness. I don't have a vehicle to take me out to the wilderness unless I had a the Faraday cage. Unless it was like in some type. It's not like I'm not rich. And most people don't have like a bunker to store their vehicle in and a Faraday cage. That's for the elites, man. And then it's just like not many cars out here are 1970s or before like the computers went into the vehicles. You know what would be smart if some automaker just started manufacturing old school cars. Just make new cars. Just make them just like bare bones. No computer stuff in there. Like that's what I would do if I was Ford or GM. I would make a car just like the cheapest car you can make, and make it pre 1970s. But they probably don't want that. The system, the matrix doesn't want that for a reason. Like I was talking about Elon Musk, like he probably wants us to go to work because he makes Tesla cars. So if everyone's remote working, then we don't need as many Tesla cars. So I'm listening to Walt. What if Altist? He just put out a pretty good video talking about some of the things that I'm talking about. He was talking about modernity a lot. I honestly don't even know what that word means. I think it's kind of like the Matrix. But I think that there is this feeling of you know what inspired me to work hard? You know what inspired me to work hard? My kids inspired me to work hard. They inspired me to grow up. You know what else did? Women. Like when I went to the gym and was lifting heavy, like okay, I got up to like I think I made a video on here. I think there's probably a video on here I edited a long time ago, where I got up to 90-pound dumbbells on lifting flat bench. And I did this probably like a couple of years ago, and I can't now. My shoulders is like just hurts too much to lift that much weight. But women inspired me to want to work harder. I think that the reason why so many men just don't feel like they want, I'm listening to the Red Pill guys. Oh, this excellence. I'm sitting here like I'm challenging them, and some of them have blocked me off of X. Rollo Tomasi, and I actually have his book, his physical book, which I'm gonna just give away at this point. But like they're all like, bro, go to the gym. Like they're always talking about go to the gym, bro. Like, and yes, like, oh, so I've been going to the gym lately, and I don't feel better when I get out. You know, like you hear this, oh, you feel better. I don't. I don't feel better. Um, it, when you have goals, yeah, but it's just like, what's the point? Because what am I trying to attract? Like, women were very desirable not too long ago, just, before COVID for sure. But what women have turned into, like, they have high expectations. They don't really seem like they're interested. When I go on the dating sites, I use my real age and stuff like that, my real photos. Like, the only thing that's out there are like women that have kids. I mean, I'm cool with that if they're like raised or close to being raised. Well, so many women have had kids later, so they have little kids. There's so many single moms. It's really sad that society has so many single moms. Uh, Raymond was talking about it. It's like any woman above 25 has kids. And for me, I just don't want to be in that situation. I don't want drama. I don't want to deal with that drama. I just want somebody who, we can enjoy each other's company. Not have to worry about, oh, she found somebody better. Like, I'm just tired of this whole, like, oh, find somebody better. Like, I need to do better. I need, like, what, like, I feel pretty accomplished already. Like, I feel like I already lived a bunch of lives at this point, man. I don't feel like I have anything, like, I don't feel like I care to prove anything. Like, I go to the store and I just wear sweats and I just look regular. I even, like, start going, like, I used to go to the gym and I never wanted to wear anything that looked, like, old. Now, when I go to the gym, I just wear, like, holy stuff. I just don't even care anymore. Just women just don't impress me. Well, because they're not into me, number one. They're manly. And I think that there's, like, a scarcity of women. Like, I heard Richard Cooper, he's always tweeting the same stuff. Like, the same things over and over again. He's like an NPC. Oh, there's not a scarcity of beautiful women. And I don't just look at women, like, just on their exterior. Yes. Like, I'm not going to settle for an obese woman. I'm not going to. I would like somebody around my sexual market value. I don't need somebody that's a 10, that's a 9, that's an 8. I just need somebody that I'm that's in shape. She doesn't have to be 100% like, like a model, but like be somewhat in shape. I don't care if there's like stretch marks or stuff like imperfections because she had kids. Maybe she had a C-section or something like that. Like, I really don't care about that. And I go on the dating site and it's just like the conversations are just so blah. Like, hey, how are you? Like, and I get to the point where I just was like, I refused to swipe on anybody. So they had to swipe on me first. And then I started swiping because I just, like, this isn't really doing much. I mean, the only ones that swipe on me are ones that I'm not really attracted to at all. Like, they pretty much just, like, they don't care about their body at all. And they just, like, I'm not going to accept that. I'm not attracted to that. I'm sorry, like, it doesn't get me going. It doesn't get me motivated. For me, I used to, like, like, what is, like, huge right now, which I was into a long time ago when I was, like, a kid. Like, the only women that had, like, bubble butts were non-white women. It was rare to see a white woman with a bubble butt, but it's just, like, so I liked, when I was younger, I didn't really like white women as much. I mean, they're okay, but, like, I liked non-white women when I was younger. Like, black women when I was a teenager was my favorite. I remember like taking my stepdad's little Playboys or penthouses, and I always wanted the ones with the black women in there. I always liked them the most. Um, and then I went into Hispanics, and then now it's just kind of like I don't care if they got a flat butt. It doesn't matter as long as like they're not fat. And I don't have to worry about them. I don't have to worry about them like always trying to find somebody better. I just don't want to deal with that. Like I'm not perfect, and most of the women out here aren't perfect themselves, and it's just like their standards of wanting perfection, which I understand why they feel like that because they get so much attention from men. And I think that the dating sites are at fault too. Like when I don't have the Facebook dating anymore, but like when I was on there, even though I said I only want to match with people in my area, this many miles from me, they still recommended me people like 150 miles away, and then it's like you can only match with so many people a day. I just think it's like really like the dating sites are just garbage, man. Like the dating sites themselves are just like trash. So like how do you meet people? It's almost like this is done by design. You can't meet people at work because you don't want to shit where you eat. Which is almost like it's almost to the point where it's just like you get your regular job, just go there and do your job and get your money, and then you have to get a second job to maybe meet people. Like, where do you meet people? When you go out in public, and unless you live in a small town and see the same people all the time, nobody wants to be talked to, including me. I'm in the same boat. I don't want to be talked to. I want to be unless like some like good looking woman like wanted to. It was quite obvious. It's not the funny thing about women is they think that they have to like they think that we want them to come up and just like start a conversation when you don't. It's not really that difficult. You just have to be in our area, maybe make eye contact. How about smiles? Ooh, smiling is like you won't find any women. And the funny thing is like they just don't get it. They still don't get it. And they're still trying to put on this like, man, I don't want to deal with a woman that's all caked in like makeup. There's a time and a place for that. Like when you're like caked in makeup with a face mask, and you're gonna call me insecure, it's like, what are you talking about? Show your face, but you're too scared. And then like they're just like getting tatted up because they're trying to like. I think they're getting tatted up because they don't know what to do with themselves. They don't have. You just see like the dumbest tattoos on them, and they're all like some of them they just take their bodies and it's because they're so emotionally damaged and they don't want to address the problem. I think that's the problem. I think that our society is so emotionally damaged. It is just normalized. Everyone just feels like nobody cares about anybody. They only care about ourselves. I'm in that boat too, man. And for me, it's kind of like life is just so hard. Like, for me, I don't even want to go on a date because it's so expensive. Like, I don't even want to go out because it's expensive. I'm just like, I gotta spend gas money, and then I have to go, and I don't even know if she's gonna like me. It's just the first thing that women always ask, like, what do you do for work? Like, what does it matter what I do for work? I support myself. Do you want to go into depth about my job? Like, let's talk about my job. Do you really care about my job, what I do every day? Does it really intrigue you? No, you just want to know my social status. And that's just annoying too. Like, that's why I'm saying, like, who am I supposed to, like, these red pill guys are like, you need to become excellent. For who? For other men? I don't fucking care what other men think about me. Are you kidding me? I'm not gay, dude. I'm thinking like these red pill guys. Maybe they are. A lot of these red pill guys are people that, a lot of them are childless. That's one. They don't even have kids. So they haven't even really had the full experience of life. And a lot of these people are just like I'm a nerd, and I've always felt nerdy, but I've been kind of like, I can pull it off that I'm not. I can hide it. And I just think that these people they were probably like Mark Zuckerberg a couple of years ago when they were younger. And then now they're like, and they're accepted in their little manosphere, red pill community, and now they're all cool, and it's just like, and I'm just looking, I'm like, you guys are like nerds, man. like, I'm seeing Rollo Tomasi. He's taking the TRT, and he's dressing like he's a rock star, and he's got like a Fresh and Fit type of show. Access Los Angeles or Access Vegas or whatever, and I try to watch like a little bit of it. His new setup for his podcast, I watched that one with him and Aaron Clarey. I like that setup. That's not too bad. Besides just him, like kind of like me, like I thought that was cool. But then I seen the Access Vegas, and I'm just like, I see all these women that I'm not attracted to. I mean, sure, physically, yeah, but they're just basically prostitutes. Like, I might as well just hire a prostitute. We might as well just make prostitution legal. That's what it feels like in the society. Nobody's loyal. That's what there's loyal people, but I'm saying, like, I don't know, when I go out in real life, I don't see what they talk about on the internet. So, a lot of the stuff I got sucked into the red pill community. You go through some stuff, and then you find people that have been through some stuff like you. You're like, okay, that makes sense. But then it's just like, I don't even want to listen to the red pill community at this point. Like, Aaron Clarey was probably my favorite one. I don't even want to listen to his stuff anymore. It's just like, bro, just go to the gym, bro. It's just like boomers out here. It's because they don't live in reality. Like, first off, all these people, a lot of them already have girlfriends. Or wives, like Rollo. They have status. They have money. They're good. They got networks or connections. And it's just like their audience. Sure, like maybe a little bit. I'd like to know a statistic of how many people that actually like follow their advice are like going up to their status. And it's just like, why do I want to put the work in for what I see out here now? Why men have worked their asses off, and why we have had a great infrastructure that is deteriorating as it's weird to see it, like live time, because of hard work from men that not all, like Tesla he never had a woman, but like most men worked hard because they were inspired by their woman. They wanted to make a nice environment for their woman. They wanted to have a nice they wanted to, work hard to make a nice infrastructure for their family. Well, people aren't having kids. I see people out here with kids. But I see a lot of single moms. Like, this is not sustainable. A lot of people are gonna need some type of mental brain chip to regulate their emotions. This is part of the reason why, like, I wanted to stay away from people. Um, Man, I do look old. She was right. One of my friends. She don't talk to me no more, but like yeah, I can see I'm aging. Well, I am old. I'm mid 40s. Well, that's what happens. But oh yeah, and the whole thing with the wall too. They're so obsessed with the wall. Like these guys are so. Well, dude, I see women that are my age or older. I've dated a couple women in their 50s, and they obviously were attracted. I was obviously enough attracted to them to go on a date with them and be seen with them in public. Um, Whether they got themselves done up or whatever, but like women, don't just hit. Maybe they don't look like they do when they're 22, but they can still make themselves look pretty appealing in their late 40s. I've seen women in their 60s. What is her name? Like Elizabeth Hurley. She's got to be like 55, close to 60. Like, look her up, man, and tell me that she hit the wall. Like any of these guys are just gonna be like, no, I'm rejecting her. These people are so stupid. Like these red pill guys. Like, I'm just gonna I would reject her right off the bat. Like, no, you wouldn't. If she like made herself available to you, like if J Lo made herself available to some schmuck like me, you think I'm just gonna reject her because she's old, she's rich, she's got status, and she's beautiful? Why would I reject that? And most of these guys, because these guys are like trying to cope. I bought into that whole like guys age like fine wine and women don't. You age if you take care of yourself. That that's how. You know. So I think that a lot of the red pill guys, I think it's like basically feminism but for men. That's what I think. I think they just want more control. They just want control over women. When it's like they're sitting here talking about like, you need to be stoic. We're so stoic. And then you got Andrew Tate beating women. How stoic are you that you have to beat your woman for her to submit to you? A woman will follow a masculine man if she trusts him. She will willingly submit to him. He doesn't need to beat her like the Muslims do. They don't need to beat them. That they treat them as slaves, and women are not slaves. They're human beings. I think the red pill has a lot of good things to understand about like female nature, and I think that men need to understand that so like they can get the playbook. Like, why is she doing this? This is why. This is what's going on. What am I doing wrong? Okay, this is what I'm doing wrong. I'm not listening. I'm not listening to her. I'm not giving her the validation. Kind of making light of things. Kind of seeming distant. I just think that there's a lot of content creators. What it seems like is these big people are just kind of, they're out of touch with reality. That's what it is they're out of touch with reality. Much like Hollywood people, they're out of touch with reality. More people are in my position than them. And the thing is, like, people can say I'm an incel. If I wanted to, I can lie. I can lie. I can lie. I can lie through my teeth. But I don't want to do that. Like, I'd rather just be my authentic self. And if people don't like me, like if a woman doesn't like me because I'm my authentic self, then I just don't want to. Because I've done that, like, and I did great dating being somebody else, but that wasn't me. And it's just what would happen was I knew subconsciously that I would not be able to sustain that. So like I just went with the one night stands, and really, what did the one night stands do? Well, over half of the women I've been with 40, 50 women, one night stands. Like, that's pretty ridiculous. And what does it serve me now? It doesn't mean nothing. I could sleep with like one woman, or I could have 1,000 women. Who cares? Like, nobody gives a shit. Like these guys, like the biggest thing about the red pill community is when they sit here and rag on women for being promiscuous when they're promiscuous themselves, and then they say we're the leaders. Well, it's just like we're the leaders, and then women are following our lead. Who created the hookup culture? We did. So now look at women. They're like we created this monster. This is why I say it always comes back to the man. Why are women so horrible nowadays? Probably because they had some weak fathers, or they didn't have fathers at all. They didn't have masculine men to look up to. So now they're out here seeking it from whatever masculine man that they could find that they perceive as being masculine. Me, I can't be like I'm on my masculine, but like I can't sustain the perception of being alpha all the time. I can't. I don't want to. I don't want to try to put that energy out there. I'm alpha in some aspects. I'm beta in some aspects. It's just whatever, man. I'm a human. I'm not perfect. And that's the number one thing with people is they have to understand people aren't perfect. If you want relationships, you're going to be an imperfect person yourself, and that person that you're with is going to be not perfect as well. And you shouldn't be with people who are toxic. So if people are doing drugs, cheating on you, hitting you, like doing things like that are really like gambling, like stealing, stuff like that, like you don't deal with those people. Those aren't good people. But somebody's got like something that like, oh, I'm just gonna like, this guy is really good, but he kind of reminds me of my ex, and then tell them why. Tell them what's going on. Hey, listen, this thing right here, you kind of remind me of my ex. You don't have to cut it off. Like, people just want to throw people away. We're in such a throwaway society, so nothing really feels like it matters. I'll just replace it. We're getting to the point where we just can't replace it. We can't just. I think that women are getting to that point soon, and like I said, this is a bubble, but like, I think that men have already got to this point where we've realized that we can't just like continue this. Like, oh, we're just gonna find a replacement. I think that women are starting to come to this. Like, you can't just bring your looks to the table anymore, and that's it. You gotta offer more. And if you're gonna just bring your looks, like, I don't really want to deal with you anyway. If a woman is like really good looking, it's too much work to have to like. She's always gonna want to find somebody better than me, and I just don't want to deal with that. I don't need to be Elon Musk. I don't need to be Andrew Tate. I'm never going to be that. Nor do I want to. Sometimes I want to enjoy, some seed oils. Sometimes I want to enjoy myself. The funny thing too about these red pill guys is they always hate on sports ball. This is why I say these people are nerds. Most people like sports ball. Anyway, that's it.